Hello, everybody. Welcome to our video chat with Chris Ampadu, who's in Accra, Ghana. Chris and I have known each other for many years.
Right.
When did we first meet, Chris?
I think the year 2000.
Was it 2000? Yeah.
Yes, 2000.
So that's more than 20 years ago.
Oh, I think 99 rather in
99? Okay.
Kenya. Yes, then
Okay.
in Ethiopia.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And Chris and I have been colleagues for a long time.
Right.
And it's been exciting to see how God has worked through Chris. And I was able to help him with his doctorate program at William Carey International University. I was one of his faculty members there. And now Chris has authored several books, and he's speaking all over West Africa and beyond, and sharing the things that we hold in common.
Right.
And Chris, I've been interviewing a number of people who are from China, India, here in the States, Latin America, people who are really in the midst of this coronavirus.
Right.
And I know it's impacted you in Ghana.
Sure.
And so I'm wondering, who are the people in Accra and in Ghana who are the most impacted by this in a negative way?
Thank you so much, Bob. I think it's a privilege for me to be interviewed by you because you are my mentor and someone I've taken so much inspiration from. So to be given this opportunity is just awesome. And so thank you so much. And through your mentoring and your teaching, I came to realize that Africa, we have all the potentials. We have been evangelized south of the Sahara, and yet poverty, corruption, and hunger and deprivations is the mainstay of majority of our people. And so when I started, the focus was the church, because the church, for me, as I've known from you, is the only hope we have to express God's full intentions and to express God's heart to the world.
Right.
And so
it's not the church, it's Jesus working through the church.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Right. And so our first focus was the church leaders. And we started training many church leaders, pastors, elders, and other officers of the church. In fact, I've trained not only in Ghana, but 15 West Africa countries, thousands of pastors and church leaders.
15 West African countries?
Yes.
Yeah, 15.
15.
Okay.
And so far, even right now that there is a lockdown, I have about 8 WhatsApp platforms on which we have hundreds of these pastors. And I have serious mentoring I'm still having with them almost every week. And for most of them, you know, they have been schooled only in the spiritual gospel. And we bring alongside the holistic gospel for them to have a big vision and to come to terms with God's grand agenda for the nations. And for them,
Bruce, if you had to summarize in one sentence, what's the difference between the spiritual gospel and the holistic gospel? One sentence, not a sermon.
For me, the holistic gospel is getting a clear understanding of God's full intentions, God's grand agenda for society and for nations.
Right.
The
Not just
spiritual one,
not
not
just
just the
spiritual salvation.
spiritual. Exactly.
It
Not
includes
just,
that.
of course, that
Yeah.
is for me the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
But then we have to get the full understanding in order to be impactful, not only to the spiritual, but to the body, to politics, to the social life, to the environment, and to every domain of life. And
So
for that, so
what does the holistic gospel have to do with the coronavirus?
it involves health issues and it involves sickness. If, for example, in Africa, some people think this sickness emanates from witches and demons. And as such, they will want to spend more time fasting and praying, which is good.
Which is
But
good.
then, of
Yeah.
course, but then the instructions that we are receiving from our presidents and health officials are saying that we should wash our hands, we should sanitize all the time, we should keep the social distance, we should also care because there is stigmatization for those even who are healed. So this is a time to show love, to care for those who are in need, and to share the little with what we have. And so I think
Can
if you're
you,
only praying, if you're only praying and fasting, it
Okay.
does not answer all these very, very important things that we need to look out as part of our Christian duty, even though we always need to pray and
so
sometimes.
give me some examples of how Christians are doing that.
Many Christians now are thinking outside the spiritual. That means now many are focusing especially on the poor, the vulnerable, those who do not have food. They are buying food to share to those who don't have. There are many who don't have water supplies. Water is a huge problem. And many have gotten water tankers to supply water to people who don't have it. And many also have given up their facilities to
They're
isolate.
They've given up their what?
Some have guest houses and training centers. And the government needed isolation centers where people can be isolated and taken care of by health personnel. And churches have easily given out their facilities for people to be accommodated and to be taken care of. Formerly, these things are never done. And now they are going from home to home, sharing food and hospital supplies, things that normally they don't do. Or if they would do it only for church members. And for me,
Chris, why do you think they're doing that now and they didn't do it before?
Now I think they've come to realize that Christianity is not just for saving of souls. Christianity needs to be seen in action as Jesus did, taking care of the poor, the sick, and caring for your environment, even your very, very body, taking care of your cleanliness, sanitation have all become critical in this time of coronavirus. And I think it is very important.
It is. What about the Ampadu family? What have you been doing?
Well, for us, we are locked down, but I have some friends, my neighbors who are very needful. So say that there is a vehicle that goes out to the hinterland to buy food. to sell. So I give money to the driver to purchase some of the foodstuffs, and then
Okay.
we share to these people who don't have food to eat. And after sharing the food, I just have time with them, and then just give them some smile, not a hug now. You can
Right.
hug. So, and I think um, uh, the feedback is just wonderful.
Tell me about the feedback. What do you mean the feedback is wonderful?
Well,
Give me an
it is
example.
because now people are taking care of themselves. People are taking care of their families. People are taking care of their own. But here they see me because even I don't distribute the food. The driver who goes to buy the food is instructed to just distribute the food to these neighbors, just
Okay.
telling them that I love them. So they don't take it from my hand. And the smiles that I see and the appreciation that they give to me, I think is awesome. I thank God for that.
Right. Now, what about your small groups? I know you have a lot of small groups in the city, and one of your staff members coordinates those small groups. Are they able to continue to meet, or are they serving in the communities where they serve?
Well, that's the holistic clubs. They still exist, but now they are very limited and restricted because all type of gathering in whatever form is not allowed. And
Okay.
the government advice is better to always stay at home. So
Okay.
many people would rather want to stay at home. But the little that they have, they try to share with their close neighbors.
Okay. So how do the things that you teach encourage the churches to be more than just spiritual?
I think I have numerous stories from many countries like Sierra Leone, like Liberia, Gambia, Senegal, and even Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria, many. Now, what I'm so thankful to God is that now they see Christianity not only in the context of church building, but they see Christianity as something that should be lived out and showing compassion, love, care, and taking care of even things that people would not do, like the environment. If the environment is littered with trash, now the churches are taking charge of their environment. Uh, Things that people not do, like sweeping, because in many cases, we think of the government taking care of the environment, especially when it comes to issues of sanitation. But now the churches are always thinking, what can we do to demonstrate God's love outside the church? And so many people are doing what we call discipline of love. And when the opportunity comes, like I have stories from Sierra Leone, where the church members collected a lot of food stuff. First, they got the children together, give them parcels of rice and some meat to go and oil to prepare food for themselves. And parents, the aged, were also taken care of. And so the churches have become agents of transformation,
Amen.
agents of love within communities. And that alone, I think, I'm so grateful to God because they don't see the church only as a praying church who does not care when people are in need of food or when they can't provide everything, but in their very, very little way, they are really giving out the little they have to show that as neighbors, we care. And I'm thankful to God for that.
So what you're seeing is a transformation of a church that was primarily concerned or only concerned about spiritual issues, fasting and prayer and evangelism. You've seen it grow into a church that's concerned about all the things that God is concerned about. And since he
Yeah,
created all things, he's
right.
concerned about all things. And
Exactly.
Chris, you are a hero of mine in terms of helping churches see that they need to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Thank
And
you.
and that's the focus of our interviews is learning how churches in different parts of the world are being the hands and feet of Jesus. And
Right.
so I want to thank you for joining me on this interview, and
Thank you.
we'll look forward to seeing you again, hopefully
Right.
face to face very soon.
Right. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Chris.
I
God bless you.
appreciate this
Thank you.
privilege.